pretty hot the last.
O'Shea.
Yorktown 6-0.
Jeremy Miller sets up the offense. Wingback Kevin Lewis coming across. Handoff to Eric Ashley up the middle. Gaining about 9 yards on the play. Great play.
Eric, just a sophomore or junior, has really stepped up in replace of Mike Hartnagel.
He made a great run right there and got right up the middle. Yorktown just let that one go through. They send out wideouts via JV Brothers. Miller sets up the play. Ashley in the backfield. They hand off to Kevin Lewis up the middle, and he breaks 3 blocks or 3 tackles and gets up into the middle and gets a first down. Gain of 6.
Kevin Lewis on the carry.
That puts the ball at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10.
We're going to have a pretty good matchup in the running game tonight with Chris Covey from Yorktown and with Ashley and Lewis from Delta. It's going to be a pretty good night.
Miller sets up the play. Grimes, wide out. Ashley in the back. Miller back to pass. He looks. He finds Kevin Lewis with the pass, and he gets out, breaks about 2 tackles, and may have a first down.
It's going to be close.
Delta moved into Yorktown territory, and it will be first down and 10 for Delta. They're on 46-yard line of Yorktown. Miller sets up the offense. Ashley in the back. Kevin Lewis crossed. Miller back to pass again. He throws to via JV and does not catch it. Ball is incomplete. Be back at 46, 2nd and 10.
Miller's came out 50%. Maybe that means he's going to be on fire tonight. We'll see.
O'Shea sends in the play as Delta sets up the offense. Yorktown going with 2 safeties tonight with 3 linebackers up front. Lewis comes across. It's handoff to Lewis on a sweep. He goes up the middle. He gets up the middle and flag on the play. Maybe a gain of 5 on the play with the flag.
I think I might have been holding.
We're looking for the official's call. It'll be holding against Delta. The officials trying to figure out what they need to do here. It's a spot and penalty, so they start where the penalty occurred and move the ball back from there.
10-yard penalty.
And it'll be now 2nd and about 18 for Delta. Robbie Grimes brings in the play for Delta. They'll send out David via JV and Robbie Grimes on the wideouts. They'll have wingback Chuck Finney, and they have tight end in there. Chuck Finney comes across. Miller hands off to Lewis. Lewis right up the middle, and he's got lots of running room as he busts up the middle for probably a Delta first down. A great run. Yorktown just could not get a tackle on him, and he just stuffed about 6 guys.
Running about 18 yards for Lewis.
It will be a first down, and now Delta is on the move down to the 34-yard line of Yorktown. Delta sets up the offense, looking to score. Via JV Brothers wideouts, wingbacks Kevin Lewis and Chuck Finney. Finney comes across, Miller back to pass, and he breaks out of the pocket, and it will be a run. A great quarterback sneak, and this is going to go for a lot of yards here. Jeremy Miller came out of the pocket running, and Yorktown got faked out because he kept faking the pass. You can't let yourself get get faked out like that. And Miller gets a lot of running room there, and he gets another first down for Delta and moves the ball down to the 16-yard line.
Timeout, Yorktown.
Yorktown calling a timeout. Maybe they're getting a little fatigued, getting run over by Delta here right at first.
Delta's just been bringing it up the middle about every play, and Yorktown can't stop them.
Let's hope this keeps up all night.
Lewis already has 3 runs of 6 yards, 10 yards, and 18 yards.
He's doing a great job for Delta.
Yeah.
The offense of Yorktown hasn't been able to come out yet, but we'll see them in a few minutes maybe if Delta scores here.
Eagles are threatening to score around about the 16-yard line.
It's a timeout for Yorktown right now with 9:15 in the first quarter. Score is 0-0 here at Delta Stadium. The crowds are packed. Over at Yorktown, they are standing. It is loaded over there. The Delta crowd is not so shabby either. They're standing too.
I think being at senior night brought in a lot of other people in just the Yorktown-Delta rivalry.
Delta will now set up their offense with Jeremy Miller. Lines up over the ball. David Avila JV, wide out. Handoff to Kevin Lewis coming around the corner, and he's been caught. He couldn't get across. He couldn't get around the corner, and he got stopped for maybe a 1-yard loss.
I think if he had just got around that last guy, he'd have been home free.
2nd and 11. Delta sends out Avila JV brothers to the wideouts. Wingbacks Kevin Lewis and Chuck Finney. Miller sets up the play. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Lewis comes around the middle, fakes to him, pass in the pocket, and he gives it to Eric Ashley for maybe a gain of a few yards.
There's a flag on the play.
And a flag on the play also. It will be holding against Delta. That's going to move the Eagles back. The referee asking Yorktown what they want to do.
It's about 2nd down and 10. I'd have to say they'll send him back.
And that's just what they're going to do. That'll put Delta way back here because the penalty did occur behind the backfield. It is a spot and clean foul, so they'll move them back. It's going to be now 2nd and about 30, 25. Miller sets up the play. Kevin Lewis in the backfield. Miller goes back to pass in the pocket, looking, finds Kevin Lewis across the middle, and Kevin gaining a good yardage there. He probably got back about to where the play started. So.
Out by 31, long for the Tigers.
Kevin Lewis has just been playing really strong. He's just been stepping up as a senior. He's had an awesome year this year. I think he's getting ready to break some of Ty Stebbins' records.
It's 3 and 13, or it's 3rd and 13. Miller sets up the play. He's back to pass again, and he's going to be sacked with a blitz. Yorktown blitzes, and Delta did not stop that at all. That's going to send Delta way back, make it 4th down.
Thomas and Brady on the stop for the Tigers.
About the 28-yard line. It's going to make it 4th down and about 28.
It's going to be a little too far for a field goal. Delta's going to have to go for it, probably.
Yeah.
Delta keeps in the offense. It looks like they will go for it. With it 4th and 23, they come to the line. Ashley and Lewis in the backfield. Miller sets up the play. Yorktown looking to blitz. Miller goes back to pass. He's looking, can't find anybody. He's almost sacked, and he gets a pass off to Robbie Grimes, but Robbie could not get in front of it and catch it.
Another flag on the play. Holding against Delta.
Delta is getting picked at everywhere with that holding call.
Well, they're downfield about 7 yards, and
Yorktown declines the penalty, and now it will go to Yorktown. Be 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line of Yorktown.
Now we get to see how good Chris Covey really is.
Delta's offense got stopped by 3 holding calls. Was not necessary for that. Yorktown, Andy Town brings up the play. Backs gives the ball to Chris Covey. Chris up the middle, and it is going to be stopped for a loss of yardage. Delta's Ryan Jones on the tackle there.
31, the ball carrier, Dave Long. Eastman on the stop for the Eagles.
I think Long got about 3 yards on that play.
Andy Town sets up the play now for Yorktown. Back to pass. Hands off though, and it'll be another short gain of yardage there.
I think they handed off to Long again.
Yorktown trying to shove it up the middle.
No, that was to Chris Aikman.
3rd down, Tigers.
Town brings up the play.
3rd down and 7.
Look for Yorktown to pass on this play. And he will. He goes back to the pass. It's a sweep out to Dave Long. And he's brought down, but that will, after Yorktown gets the 1st down.
Shady on the stop for the Eagles.
Andy Town's leading the county with passing statistics.
Andy sets up the play for Yorktown. Yorktown going with a wishbone offense. He hands off up the middle. It'll be a gain of about 4 yards.
Hickman's got the speed that if he gets out around the side, he's going to be gone.
Andy Town with Yorktown in the wishbone again. Gives the handoff, and he is knocked in the backfield. Great play. And that was Matt Pryor. He was right up the middle and grabbed the Yorktown player right off. He had nowhere to go. He almost didn't get the handoff on that play. It's a great play.
Loss of about 5.
Andy Town sets up the offense. Look for pass here. Yorktown going with only a single back. He will hand off, and it will just be only a gain of about 1 yard. It seems like Yorktown's plan was to go right up the middle, and Delta knows it, and they're ready for it every time. Chuck Finney and J.J. Frazier back for the punt. Punt is up. It's a low flyer, and they call for fair catch, and it'll take an Eagle bounce back, and they'll start from their 27-yard line.
Delta's going to have the ball on their own 27.
That took a good Delta bounce back about 6 yards, so Delta got some good field position now. The VJV brothers go wide out. It's Lewis and Finney, wingbacks. Miller sets up the play. Lewis comes around. It'll be a handoff to Finney coming around the other side, and he'll gain about 2 yards on the play.
Finney, the ball carrier. Donahue on the stop for the Tigers.
It'll be 2nd and 11. Kevin Lewis comes across the middle. Miller handoff to Ashley. Ashley up the middle, and maybe a gain of 1 yard on that. He got stuffed right at the line.
Eric Ashley for the Eagles. Donahue on the stop for the Tigers.
Delta needs to get off like they did before. Now it'll be 3rd and 9. We'll be looking for pass here. O'Shea sends in the play. Miller to bring up the offense. The Ashley in the backfield. Via JV brothers on the outside. And Miller will call a timeout. Miller didn't like what he saw there, and He knew the play probably wasn't going to work, so he called a timeout. Good job.
Coach O'Shea will go out and talk it over with him, and maybe we'll get a first down.
Right now it's 0-0 here at Delta Stadium with a packed house watching Delta football against number 10 ranked Class 3A Yorktown. We have 1:48 in the first quarter with Delta 3rd and 10 with a timeout.
Delta's pretty much manhandled Yorktown up and down the field until they got down to about their own 20, and then penalties cost them.
Yeah, Delta's really going to have to watch the penalties, especially holding. That's what they were, so.
3 holding calls.
It's not good, and O'Shea's not going to like that, and he'll talk about that at the halftime. Delta's still conferring on what they want to do here.
I think we've got both of the Avia JV boys back out there. Get some speed in there for Delta.
Yorktown sets up their defense, and Delta brings up the offense. We're going to go back to action here. Miller sets up the play with Kevin Lewis in the backfield. The lone setback with VJV brothers on the outside. Finney as wingback. Yorktown fakes blitz. Back in the pocket, Miller looking. He finds a long distance via JV, and it's just out of the reach, and he can't catch it. That's going to make it 4th down and 10 for Delta. J.J. Frazier will come out to kick now for Delta.
Personal foul against Yorktown.
There was a flag on the play, and it will be a personal foul against Yorktown, and that's going to help Delta.
That's Yorktown's first penalty on the night.
Referee moves the ball up for Delta. It is a 15-yard penalty for that, and it will make a first down for the Delta Eagles. That will move the ball up to the 43-yard line at Delta's. Doug Denny for Yorktown is not going to like that, especially when they had him and they were going to get the ball back. Miller now sets up the play. Lewis comes around the side. Miller around the other side. He looks and can't find anyone and will be sacked. He probably should have gone ahead and run it, but he thought he could pass it and just could not get it off the way he wanted.
That was Chris Covey on the sack. He goes both ways for Yorktown.
He ran around to the left side and he throws from the left, so he had to come back and set up his throw, and he just couldn't do it. Made sure he didn't fumble it though, and that's what you want for Delta. Yorktown sets up their defense. 3 linebackers. Miller sets up the offense. Lewis comes around the back, and there's going to be a blitz, but Miller gets out of it and finds David Avia JV up the middle, but cannot hang on. He cannot hang on. That will be an incomplete pass.
It's going to be 3rd down and about 15.
Delta just cannot get the plays they want, and Yorktown's being able to stuff them every time.
So they leave that backside corner, whatever you say.
O'Shea sends in the play as Miller sets it up. Set back Kevin Lewis. Miller sets up the play. Finney comes across the middle. They hand off to Lewis, and they're blitzing again, and Lewis is just not going to get out of that one. And it's going to be 4th and about 20.
Yeah, I've gone on the pump.
J.J. Frazier out, or no, it's Jeremy Miller as the kicker for Delta. It's always nice to have your quarterback as your kicker. You never know when they're going to fake it. But probably not with them being on their 36-yard line here. Kick is back, and Miller gets off the kick. A nice kick, goes way back, sending the receiver way back. He grabs it, and gets about maybe 10 yards back. It's a good kick from Miller. That probably would win about 50, 60 yards there.
That was about a 50-yard punt.
Good kick.
Yeah.
Dell's going to need that if their offense isn't going to move for them.
There's 7 seconds left in the first quarter with still no score.
And the time's going to run out here. Now we'll return you to the studios for a short break, and thanks JR. Delta right now playing Yorktown okay right now. It's not really too much action going on. It's 0-0 starting the second quarter here at Delta Stadium. Packed house wanting some scores here, but neither team has been able to move the ball very well.
Kevin Lewis has 44 yards already in the first quarter.
It's great for Kevin. And now we'll need a lot more yards than that to get the touchdown. Yorktown has the ball though on their 31-yard line as Andy Town sets up the play, hand off to Chris Covey up the middle, and it'll be a gain of about 2 yards.
I think Covey got a gain of about 2 or 3.
On the south for the Eagles. Second down, Tigers.
It'll be second down and about 8 for the Tigers. Andy Town sets up the play. Yorktown will have Chris Covey in the backfield.
Strong safeties up. They got the
Yorktown hands off, and it's up the middle, and it will be stuffed. Delta's still not letting anything come up the middle.
Chris Aikman on a loss of about 2. It's a nice tackle by Ryan Jones.
Yeah, Singer's doing a good job. Oh, you talking about Boston?
Delta sets up their defense as Andy Town brings up the offense for Yorktown. Yorktown will have Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Town gets the handoff and is back to pass in the pocket. Throws for an incomplete pass. That ball was intended for Matt Nelson. And it'll be incomplete, and that'll make it 4th and 8. Yorktown will kick.
He was fine. That was shady.
Andy Towns had 2 pass attempts and hasn't completed any, or completed the first one.
Chuck Finney and J.J. Fraser back to receive kick. Donahue, the kicker for Yorktown, receives a good and a bad kick off his foot to the left, and that will maybe go 20 yards. Delta will
went out of bounds on Delta's 43-yard line.
Delta's still getting good field position on every start, so let's see if they can do something with it.
They're on 42.
Delta brings out the offense.
See if they can get something started. Last possession, they didn't do anything with it.
Yorktown sets up the defense as Delta brings up the offense. Jeremy Miller sets up the play. Back to pass. Looks for David Avia JV on the side, and he gets the ball. Breaks the tackle and gains about 6 yards on the play. It's a quick snap and pass. And Avia JV grabbed it and broke a tackle and got about 6 yards until he was knocked out of bounds. There is a flag on the play.
We got
Illegal motion against Delta. Delta is just getting every single penalty put on them. The refs are calling a close game, and they are seeing everything. Both teams are just going to have to cool it off.
Penalty of 5 yards starting from the line of scrimmage.
O'Shea not too happy. It'll be first down and about 15 yards now. O'Shea sends in the play.
Got 6'6" Robbie Grimes being the wideout for Delta. Pretty easy target to hit.
Miller brings up the play. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Wingbacks Chuck Finney and Kevin Lewis. Chuck comes across the side. It'll be a quarterback sneak with Miller.
Miller on the carry.
Miller gains about 3 yards on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about 12.
Thomas on the stop for the Tigers.
Yorktown seemed to sniff out that play, and we're ready for it.
Catch me in the right cover to get a quick snap.
Via JV brings in the play. Both Via JVs will set on the outsides. Miller in the middle as QB.
Not here though.
Miller changing the play at the line. And now he goes back to pass. Comes across with Kevin Lewis. Great pass, and Kevin receives it. That was about a 17-yard throw for Kevin Lewis, and he caught it. And now that'll be first down for Delta in Yorktown territory. This is the second time Delta has been able to go into Yorktown territory.
Kevin Lewis is just having another outstanding game for the Eagles.
Let's hope he can keep it up as Miller brings up the play. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Robbie Grimes and David Via JV on the outsides. Wingbacks Kevin Lewis and Chuck Finney. Miller back to pass again. He gets Chuck Finney this time for about a gain of 3.
Pass complete to Chuck Finney.
Della's going with a quick snap and pass. Seems to be they seem to be giving Delta a little bit too much room, and they're taking advantage of it. O'Shea brings in the play. Miller sets up. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Kevin Lewis comes across the middle. It's a handoff to Eric Ashley. That fooled about everyone on that play. Eric Ashley has a great gain, and that's about 15 yards. Great. And that'll be first down for Delta on their 30-yard line.
I think if the referee wouldn't have gotten in his way, I think he could have went a little bit farther.
Even the referees get fooled.
He's had those slow feet and they tripped him up.
Miller sets up the play. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Kevin Lewis comes across, and this time it does go to Lewis, and he'll be stuffed in the backfield. Yorktown getting through the line very easily and getting Delta.
Loss of about 5.
It'll be 2nd down and 15 for Delta. It's 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter. It's 0-0 here at Delta Stadium. Miller sets up the play. He'll change the play at the line. He audibles.
Look at him, Finney.
Miller comes back, and it is a blitz, all-out blitz. He gets rid of it, and it almost was intercepted. Kevin Lewis just could not get to it in time.
We can't put Finney in.
Kyle Jones almost with that interception. Just bounced off his hands.
Finney's got to see him and get a piece of it. Hey, Finney took.
And now it'll be 3rd down and 15 for the Delta Eagles.
Finney's not even looking at him. He's looking at
O'Shea brings in the play.
Miller.
Yorktown setting up their defense, using a lot of blitz tactics today. Miller sets up the play with Eric Ashley and Kevin Lewis in the backfield. It's a handoff to Lewis. Fake, and now Kevin Lewis will pass the ball to a wide open Robbie Grimes, but he drops the pass. He was almost there. Kevin Lewis just threw it just a little over. I think Robbie Grimes could have got it, but he stopped, just hesitated just a little bit, just couldn't get it. That was touchdown all the way. Miller had maybe Robbie Grimes had about 15 yards on everybody. Nobody was there.
That was a great halfback option. It was a good throw by Lewis. I think if Grimes wouldn't have hesitated just that 1 second, he would have had it.
And now it's 4th down, and Delta will go for it, because when you're in the territory like this, you don't kick it from that far away. Miller talking over with the referee. There seems to be a flag on the play.
And there was. It goes against Delta.
I'm not sure what the call was.
Not either. It's another penalty of 5 yards, though. Penalties are just killing Delta tonight. Miller's back to the punt.
Miller with the kick. It's up real high. This is a good kick. They call for the fair catch, and this will be inside the 10-yard line of Yorktown. It'll be at the 10-yard line where Yorktown will start their offense.
That was a nice play by number 21, Joey Shea, on catching that ball before it bounced back even farther.
It's first down and 10 for Yorktown now. They start with very poor field position. Andy Town sets up the offense for Yorktown. We'll have Chris Covey in the backfield with Chris Aikman.
Tell you what, he does that shit too much.
Town comes back, hands it off to Chris Aikman, and he's stringing it out to the outside and will make maybe about 9 yards.
He's going to be real close on the first down.
Yeah, Lewis up first.
Delta pursuing, just could not get to him until he got around the corner.
Eastman makes the play going down the line.
It was a nice tackle by Mr. Eastman from Delta.
Yorktown sets up the play with Andy Town. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield for Yorktown. Town back with the ball, gives it off to Chris Covey up the middle, and he'll gain about 5 yards, and we'll have the first down for Yorktown.
That was a nice tackle by Scott Senior. He's just a freshman. He's already seeing some varsity action.
Yorktown sets up the play now with first down and 10 at their own 23-yard line. Andy Town sets up the play. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Town hands off to Aikman, and then it'll be about a gain of 1 yard, maybe none. Delta is stuffing up the middle there.
Pryor on the stop for the Eagles. Second down, Tigers.
It'll be second down and 9 now for the Tigers.
Delta's defense has been pretty strong this first half.
Delta's made sure nothing goes through the middle. Andy Town sets up the offense for Yorktown. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Town hikes the ball, back to pass. A good quick out pass, and he'll gain about 20 yards on that play. That was, Delta had about 6 tackles on that one and just could not pull him down. That was not good. Delta had him in the backfield when he first caught the ball, but just could not hang on, and he gained 15 yards on the play, and now it's first down and 10 at their 43-yard line. Yorktown sets up the play. Andy Town. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Town hikes the ball. Back to pass. Throws the long and will throw way over his intended receiver, Matt Nielsen.
Town's a pretty good quarterback for only being a sophomore.
Town seems to be looking for Matt Nelson on every play, so that looks to be his primary target. He's only thrown to Dave Long and Matt Nelson, so those seem to be his 2 men. Andy Town sets up the offense for Yorktown as it's second down and 10 on their 43-yard line. Town back to pass again, and it will be flags on the play. This is probably offsides on Yorktown.
We got a flag on the play.
And that will be the call, offsides on Yorktown. That's going to move them back. Delta will take that penalty.
Call against the Tigers.
Until Dave
The refs are giving penalties all around to everyone, and both teams are going to have to clean it up a little bit for the second half. It's 4:55 here in the second quarter. Second down and 15 for Yorktown. Andy Town sets up the offense. They put Chris Covey on the line. Ball Andy Town back to pass. Finds his wide open receiver, Matt Nielsen. And the ball seems to be fumbled, but they rule it down. That'll be another first down for Yorktown. Delta's going to have to tackle the man as soon as he catches the ball. They're letting him get away from that one.
Yeah, they're letting the wide receivers get way too much open.
Even when they get open, Delta's got the tackle and they're not putting it down. They're letting him go. Now Yorktown sets up the offense for their own 46, or now into Delta territory on the 46-yard line. First down and 10. Andy Town calling audibles.
Yorktown's maintained possession. Just
Hikes the ball, throws it over to Chris Aikman. And Yorktown will gain about 4 yards on the play there.
Ryan Jones on the stop for the Eagles.
Ryan Jones had the tackle there for the Eagles. Yorktown starting to move the ball. First time they've been in Delta territory all night. Now it's second down and 6 for the Yorktown Tigers. Andy Town sets up the offense. Trying to call Delta offsides, but they can't. Hand off to Chris Aikman up the middle, and he'll gain another 4 yards on the play. That'll make it about third down and 2 yards to go.
Chris Aikman's leading Yorktown with yardage this evening.
On the top for the Tigers. For the Eagles. Third down, Yorktown.
Eagles set up their defense as Yorktown brings up the offense. Third down and 2 yards to go for the Eagles. So the Eagles stopping. Yorktown sets up the play. Hands it off to Chris Aikman up the middle, and he will probably have the first down. He gains about 4 yards on the play.
We're stringing it out, making the cut up. There's no
Singer on the stop for the Eagles. First and 10, Yorktown.
It was a nice tackle by Scott Singer.
It's first down and 10 for Yorktown, now to the Delta's 34-yard line. Yorktown progressively moving the ball up now, and Delta's going to have to get a stop somewhere in here.
They've got about 3:15 to make it.
Andy Town sets up the offense. Chris Covey in the backfield. Sees the ball, gives it off to Chris Covey up the middle.
Game is about 1.
Covey gains 3 yards on the play there to make it second down and 7.
Byron Singer's on the stop for the Eagles.
Yorktown sets up the offense now as they progressively still move down the field. It's down the 31-yard line. Andy Town sets up the offense. Hikes the ball and back to pass. Looks across and finds his primary receiver, and he breaks about 3 tackles. That's Kyle Jones for Yorktown. He had a good run there. Broke about 3 tackles. Now the ball will be moved to 15-yard line. The 25-yard. No, it'll be the 15-yard line.
That's the first time Towns hit Jones for a pass tonight, gaining about 15.
It's first down and 10 on the 15-yard line as Yorktown looking to score. With 2 minutes left in the second quarter, it's 0-0 here at Delta Stadium. Andy Town sets up the offense. Back to pass again. Looks for his receiver and cannot hang on. Matt Pryor was all over his man and did not let him catch that ball.
Pass was intended for number 85, Ryan Webster.
Yorktown sends in the play. Delta sets up their defense as Yorktown comes up to the ball. Andy Town sets up the offense with Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Andy Town hikes the ball. Back to pass again. Looking for his receiver, and it is intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone. Delta had him covered everywhere, and Joey Shady and David Clausen looking for the ball, and David Clausen picked it right off.
That was a great catch by David Clausen. I think that's his 3rd or 4th interception on the season.
David Clausen, the safety for Delta, just set back in the pocket, looked for him, And when the pass came, he just stepped in front of the receiver and took it away. Delta will now have the ball on the 20-yard line as they start offense.
That was a really heads-up play by Clausen, even though he might have had an opening on the other side, but just can't take the chance that far down in the end zone.
Miller hands off. Up the middle, Eric Ashley, and he gains about 15 yards on the play. Delta moving the ball now. Delta has now a little bit of momentum, and they're going to use it to their advantage now.
Jones on the stop for the Tigers. First and 10, Delta.
Delta wanting to score here before the half ends with 1:46 in the second quarter. Yorktown, or Delta, going with a no huddle as Yorktown goes with 3 safeties and 2 linebackers. They're taking no chances on a long pass. Delta will have Chris Avia JV and David Avia JV on the outside, so Miller sets up the play. Miller back to pass, looks for Avia JV, and it's knocked down at the line.
I'd like to see that halfback option again, see if they can hit Grimes.
That'd be nice, but you never know what O'Shea has up his bag of tricks anyway. It's a minute 39 here in the second quarter with the clock stopped. Miller sets up the play. Ashley in the backfield. Finney comes across. Miller back to pass with, it's intercepted by David Long, and he's going to go for a touchdown. Touchdown, Yorktown. Yorktown got in front of that one. It was intended for Kevin Lewis on a short sweep, and David Long was able to step right in front of that and take it away, and he ran about 32 yards for a touchdown there.
I think Miller should have probably just ate that one and just seen what they could do after that. There wasn't anyone near the ball.
Yorktown able to pull off the blitz very well right now, and Delta's going to have to figure a way to stop that. They're being able to shoot right up the middle every time. Yorktown setting up their extra point kick now. The kicker is Ryan Webster for Yorktown. Ball is hiked, and the kick will be good. Makes the score 7-0 here at the Delta Stadium. 1:32 left in the second quarter with Yorktown in the lead now. The Eagles will now receive the kickoff.
Eagles still have plenty of time to attempt something.
The Eagles will send back Kevin Lewis, Chris Avia JV, and David Avia JV for the kick. Yorktown comes out now, set up the kicking offense.
Lewis has ran one back earlier in the year for a touchdown against Shenandoah.
The kicker is Ryan Webster for Yorktown. Delta needs to do something here with a minute 32 left in the second quarter. 7-0 Yorktown now after a David Long intercepted pass. The whistle blows now. Yorktown with the kickoff. The kick is up, and it'll go right to Kevin Lewis. Kevin with a great reception, comes up the middle. He gets away 2 tackles, and now he breaks open the open field, and he is gone. They may have a chance for him right at the end. He dives, and Kevin is knocked down at the 5-yard line. That was a gain of 95 yards. That was great for Delta. And now the crowd has gone wild here for Delta. Yorktown looking a little sad now as Delta starts on their 5-yard line, looking to score before the half ends. This is going to be great for Delta if they can get the score in right before the half.
Got a minute 17 to score. Make it about 12 or about 15 yards probably.
I think Delta can get this one in as Miller sets up the play. Ashley, the lone setback. Lewis comes across the middle. Handoff to Ashley up the middle. A gain of about 2 yards.
Stop by 9 seconds.
Clock winding down now. Delta will probably have to call a timeout here. And they will call a timeout with stopping the clock at 51 seconds in the second quarter.
That was just a great run by Kevin Lewis.
He broke about 3 or 4 tackles right up the middle that were good sticks, and he broke them. He had the determination to make it, and he did.
And technical programs including business, health, and human services, technology, and general education.
We'll see if Coach O'Shea has something up his sleeve, see if he can pull something out right here. Maybe a new play they worked on during the week.
It's going to be second and about 5 yards to go still. It's 7-0 Yorktown. That's Delta looking to score on their own 5-yard line with 51 seconds in the second quarter.
This timeout will give Lewis a little chance to catch his breath after that long run.
Delta has set up the play, and Kevin O'Shea coming off the field now. Miller brings up the offense. Kevin Lewis, the lone setback. Ashley moves to the line. Finney comes across. It's a fake handoff.
Screen pass.
Lewis into the middle, and Ashley cannot receive, and a good hard stick.
Pass intended for Kevin Lewis, incomplete.
As soon as he almost caught that ball, he had a man all over him. He may have still been able to catch it if he hadn't gotten that hard of a hit. O'Shea sends in the play.
3rd down and 6.
46 seconds left in the second quarter. Miller, seeming confused, sets up the play though with regular offense. Ashley in the backfield. Miller back to pass again. Looks, cannot find anybody, runs it himself, and he gains about a yard, and he'll be 4th down and 4. Delta needs to score here.
Is Coach going to go for it, or is he going to send in J.J. Frazier for the field goal?
O'Shea talking it over. He's not sure yet. With 22 seconds, he's letting time run out here so that Yorktown won't have anything else after that.
J.J. Frazier is waiting anxiously on the sideline.
Now they'll call a timeout, and they will send in...
Timeout, Delta.
They will send in J.J. Frazier for the kick. With 7 seconds left in the second quarter, Delta elects to go for the kick. We'll set the score at 7-3. It's going to be about a 15-yard kick. With it being 4th and 5, Delta has elected to kick.
Frazier's been almost automatic the whole year.
The wind is in his face, though. It's going to be a hard kick right up the middle. They're still waiting for the timeout to roll out. Yorktown probably wanting to block this kick. Chris Miller, the holder for J.J. Frazier, as Delta sets up the kick. The whistle blows. The kick is up, and it is good. Delta takes a is now down 7-3. With 3 seconds left in the second quarter, Delta probably will just kick a swivel kick here and try to get the clock to run out. J.J. Frazier with the kick, and it does hit the ground. It'll roll, and they pick it up, and time runs out, and Yorktown has about a 5-yard gain. Thank you, JR. We're here at Delta Stadium with the score 7-3 in favor of Yorktown. J.J. Frazier sets up his kick. kick is up, and a low squibbling kick, and it's picked up by Yorktown, and he'll try to go up the middle, and he gets a break through, and he's tackled as soon as he gets through that. And he'll be on the 39-yard line for Yorktown as they set up the offense.
That was number 29, Matt Youngblood, on the kick return.
Matt Youngblood and Chris Covey are former Delta students moved to Yorktown.
Yorktown's got a lot of young players playing on their team. Youngblood just a sophomore, and the Town a sophomore, and a couple of their wide receivers are sophomores. They're pretty young.
Town sets up the offense for Yorktown. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. It's a handoff to David Long, and he'll have a gain of about 5 yards. Sorry, the ball was fumbled on that play, and it was picked back up, and it'll be about a 2nd and 8 yards. Mount Nelson sets on the outside for Yorktown as Andy Town sets up the offense.
Minutes gone by here in the second half.
Yorktown, Andy Town back to pass. Looks for his receiver and cannot get him. Chris Aikman was the intended receiver. The pass never got to him though. It'll be 3rd down and about 8. The score is 7-3 in favor of Yorktown. Andy Town sets up the offense for Yorktown. Chris Covey in the backfield. It's a fake and a good pass to David Young as he breaks 3 tackles, 4 tackles, and he's off for the running, and he's going to score a touchdown for Yorktown. It will be now 13-3 Yorktown. He broke 4 to 5 tackles there, good tackles by Delta, and he just knocked them off and went for the touchdown. David Long, that's his 2nd touchdown of the game, 1 on offense and 1 on defense now.
It was about a 50 or 60-yard run by Long.
He broke every tackle that they threw at him. It was an outside sweep pass. Now
Very frustrated for the Eagles.
Now Ryan Webster sets up the kick for Yorktown. The extra point is up, and it will be good. Now the score will be 14-3 in favor of the Yorktown Tigers.
Ryan Webster's back for the kick.
Whistle blows. Ryan for the kick. Kicks it. A low shooting kick that will be caught by David Avila JV, and then it will roll away from him and go out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. That's not good for Delta. Bad field position to start out with. Coach O'Shea gives Miller the play as he brings it in.
Let's see if Delta can get that offensive rolling. First half, very first possession of the game, they marched all the way down the field, but were stopped at their own 20-yard line because of penalties.
Miller sets up the play. Finney comes around. It's a handoff to Kevin Lewis up the middle. Kevin, maybe a gain of 5 on the play. As soon as Kevin came up the middle, there's a Yorktown player to stop him, and he cut up the middle and got maybe 3 or 4 more yards away from that player.
2nd down and 6 for the Eagles.
Delta sets up the play with Miller. Robbie Grimes and David Avila JV on the outsides. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass, looks for Avila JV across, and he catches it and is immediately tackled. Probably a gain of 15 yards. Great pass play. It was a quick out, and Delta was able to receive the ball and take it for a good gain there.
That was the first catch by David this evening. Gain of about 15.
Jason Tweeters on the tackle. David Avila JV and Chris Avila JV on the outsides as Delta sets up the offense. Then he comes across the middle. It's a handoff up the middle to Ashley. Ashley will have about a gain of 2 yards on the play.
Stopped by Hunsaker.
It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Eagles with about 9:30 left in the 3rd quarter.
14-3, Yorktown's lead. Miller sets up the offense. Eric Ashley, the lone setback. Chuck Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. Sets in the pocket. Looks, can't find anyone, and will be sacked. David Long on the sack for Yorktown. Miller's taking way too much time to find his receivers. He's going to have to get out of the pocket and run.
Brady for the Tigers. First down, Delta.
It's Yorktown's 4th sack on Miller this game.
Going to be 3rd down and 14. Della doesn't need this. Chris Avila JV and David Avila JV on the outsides for Delta. Eric Ashley lone set back. Finney comes across the middle. Miller hands off to Lewis up the middle, and Donahue is right there setting and waiting, and Kevin Lewis is tackled in the backfield. That'll set up a kick now for Delta as it's 4th and 16 now.
Going back to that sack, I think Miller just needs to get rid of the ball quicker. He had some wide receivers wide open. He just couldn't get it to him in time.
Miller seems to be looking at one man instead of the whole field. Miller back to punt the ball to Yorktown. Good snap. Ball is kicked. Good rolling kick, and he calls for the fair catch. Andy Town brings up the offense. Yorktown changes the play at the line. Chris Covey and Chris Aikman in the backfield. It's a handoff to David Long up the middle. A gain of about 3 yards.
Long about there.
It'll be about 2nd down and 7.
Caught by Taylor for the Eagles.
Number 12, Jeff Miller is warming up on the sideline for the Eagles. I don't know if this is Coach O'Shea's going to give him a chance to get in there and see what he can do. Jeff's only a sophomore, taking over for his brother if he gets in there.
Town sets up the offense for Yorktown. Brings a option around the corner, and it'll be handoff to Chris Aikman. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. Delta just sat down and didn't go for the quarterback or the running back. Someone should have been taken out of the play there.
Yeah.
And make it 3rd down and 4 now for the Tigers.
Andy Town doesn't have the speed, but he's got the smarts to play this game.
Delta crowd trying to psych up the defense as Andy Town sets up the offense. It's handoff. No, it's a pass, and to a receiver downfield, a gain of about 7 yards, and that will give the first down for the Yorktown Tigers.
Pass was completed to number 25, Howard Jones, for a gain of about 15.
They were wide open on that play. Can't let the receivers have that much room. They're going to have to tighten it up a little bit. Andy Town brings up the offense for Yorktown. David Long and Chris Aikman in the backfield for the Tigers. It's a handoff up the middle, and he'll have a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Maxwell on the stop for the Eagles.
Be 2nd and 7 for Yorktown Tigers.
6:20 left in the 3rd quarter. A score of 14-3 in favor of Yorktown.
Ball's on the 37-yard line of Delta. Yorktown looking to score. Andy Town sets up the play. Back to pass. Looks across the middle and cannot find his receiver. Throws it behind him.
Pass was intended for number 85, Ryan Webster.
Delta had that one covered up, but got to hit your receiver, and he would have had that one. 3rd down and 7 now for the Tigers. Yorktown brings it up, set up the play.
Towns tried to connect with Webster all evening and hasn't had the opportunity to.
Helmet problems with one of the Delta players, so let's stop the play right now. Yorktown will now set up the offense. Scott Sainert had the problems with his helmet. Now we'll start with action again as Yorktown sets up the play. And it will be a blitz by Delta. And right in there is 67 for Delta, Doug Duncan. And he was all over him. He only had about 2 steps back, and Doug was all over him. He was down on the ground.
That was a great play by Doug. I think this is his first year ever playing football, and he stepped in and contributed really great for the Delta Eagles.
It's 4th and 13 now, and Yorktown will punt the ball. Kevin Lewis and J.J. Frazier back to receive.
They're on their own 5-yard line.
Delta will not try to block the kick. Kick goes through the end zone, and it'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line for Delta.
Delta first and 10 from their own 20.
It's going to be Delta 1st and 10 with 5:15 left in the 3rd quarter.
It's 14-3 with Yorktown's lead. First touchdown for Yorktown came off a David Long interception from Jeremy Miller. He tramped 33 yards into the end zone for the first score for Yorktown. Then a kick with J.J. Frazier for 3 points, making it 7-3. And then 14-3 Yorktown after David Long reception and a 60-yard run to the end zone. It's a pass out to David via JV all alone. He tries to break a tackle, and he will be gang tackled down at about the 27-yard line.
Stop by Peters.
It's probably a first down for Delta.
We're looking for David a little bit more this 3rd quarter. That's his 2nd catch 3rd quarter.
It will be 2nd down and about a foot. Miller gets the play from O'Shea. Yorktown sets up their offense with 3 safeties and 3 linebackers. Chris Avia JV and Robbie Grimes on the outside. Kevin Lewis sets up as another wide receiver. Chuck Finney comes across to the strong side, and it will be just a run right up the middle for Jeremy Miller, and he will have the first down for Delta. And that'll make it first down, and now the flag comes down. This is going to be a necessary roughness on somebody.
Looks like number 62 for Delta is coming up a little sore. It'd be Matt Pryor. He's hobbling.
A necessary roughness against the Yorktown Tigers, and that will help Delta even move the ball down even farther. They will take this penalty because that will give them an automatic first down and extra yardage. And they'll send in Ryan Jones for Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor's still hobbling a little bit. Let's hope he can get back into the game for the Delta Eagles.
Looks like he might be tightening up in the hamstring.
Probably just a Charlie horse there.
Let's hope so.
Penalty against Yorktown.
Matt Pryor, a senior here, 6 foot, 220 pounds. You don't want to lose a guy like that. Delta looking over the play. It's first down and 10 on the 36-yard line of Delta.
See if they can get something started. 4:30 left in the 3rd quarter with Yorktown leading 14-3.
The referee trying to figure out where the ball should be placed.
I think the ball is going to be placed on their own 37.
The penalty comes with a first down, and then they start the penalty from there. So they'll make it first down and 5 yards. That's a good break for Delta. They only have to go 5 yards for a first down. With 4:30 in the 3rd quarter, Miller sets up the play. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass, looking for via JV, and he had it in his hands and dropped it. The same play, but this time he just could not hang on. Good try, though.
Miller had both Chuck Finney and David Avia JB open on that play and elected to go to Avia.
Pryor has come back into the game for the Eagles, so it must have just been something he pulled. Miller sets up the play. Ashley in the backfield. Robbie Grimes and David Avia JV on the outside. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. It's going to be blitz, and it's a shovel pass to Kevin Lewis up the middle. Kevin Blake's 2 tackles, and he's off for the running. No one's going to catch him, and he's gone. And now down to the 15-yard line. He's pulled down by a Chris Aikman for Yorktown. Aikman just came out of nowhere to catch him and finally pulled him down at the 15-yard line. Great run for Delta. Kevin Lewis was tackled in the backfield and about where the line of scrimmage was, and he broke both of them to make that yardage. About a 30, maybe 40-yard run there. Delta sets up the play. Via JV brothers on the outsides. Lewis and Finney, wingbacks. Ashley in the back. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. Looks for Kevin Lewis and just cannot get it in there. He had to throw it over the lineman and went a little sailing too high over Kevin Lewis. This is the 4th time Delta has came into Yorktown territory. Miller sets up the play with Ashley in the backfield. Kevin Lewis lined up as a wide receiver.
Miller went for the audible.
Miller back to pass. Looks for Robbie Grimes in the end zone. And he receives the ball. It is a touchdown for Yorktown. A great pass. It was over the head of both of the men, and Robbie Grimes was able to pull it down and score for the Eagles. Now it's 14-9. Let's hope that the Eagles can receive or get the extra point. It's 4 minutes and 4 seconds in the 3rd quarter as Delta scores here.
That was just a great reception by Robbie Grimes and a great throw by Jeremy Miller. Gotta give credit to him.
Jeff Miller sets up for the kick for J.J. Frazier. The kick is up, and it will be good. It's 14-10 here at Delta Stadium as Delta has just scored on a great run from a great shovel pass to Kevin Lewis, making it down to the 15-yard line. And from there, they threw a long cross pass to Robbie Grimes, and he received it for the touchdown. It's now 14-10 with 4:04 in the 3rd quarter. Yorktown's lead still. Yorktown sets up for the kickoff. They have Chris Aikman in the back to receive.
Looks like they have Chris Aikman and Matt Youngblood.
J.J. Frazier kicking into the wind. Whistle blows. Here comes the kick. The kick is high and will be caught by Matt Youngblood as he runs it right up the middle. Good run for Matt, and that'll give Yorktown a good field position at the 37-yard line of Yorktown. Referee starts the play as Andy Town sets up the offense. Andy Town back to pass, looking for his receiver, and he has him. Running down, it's Ryan Webster on the reception, and he'll have a first down, a gain of 15 yards on the play into Delta football territory.
Kevin Lewis on the tackle.
That'll put the ball on the 48-yard line of Delta. Yorktown moving the ball.
No, not right now.
It's 3:38 here in the 3rd quarter. 14-10 Yorktown. You're listening to Sean and Mike Hall with your play-by-play action and color commentary. Andy Town sets up the offense. Back to pass again. Looks for his receiver way down there. Joey Shady looking for the interception but cannot catch it. Yorktown receiver was Ryan Webster again, and he almost was able to get to it. Yorktown sets up the offense with Andy Town. 2nd and 10 on the 48-yard line. Matt Youngblood comes across the middle. Town back to pass. Gives it to Matt Nielsen over his head, and that will be making it 3rd down and 10. He had a wide open man, and he just could not hit him. Yorktown will have David Long as the lone setback.
Keep an eye inside.
Ryan Webster on the outside. Town back to pass again, up the middle, and he has a receiver. Oh no, he gets away from it. Ryan Webster will have a touchdown here. The tackle was made. He was almost brought down and somehow got out of that and was able to run for a 48-yard touchdown for Yorktown. Delta just having the tackles, they just cannot pull them down after they have them. You got to finish off your tackling. O'Shea's going to have to work on that one. Now Ryan Webster will kick for the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good. It's now 21-10 in favor of the Yorktown Tigers.
3:06 left in the 3rd quarter.
Ryan Webster here now to kick off for the Yorktown Tigers to the Delta Eagles.
Seems like Ryan Webster's everywhere.
Yorktown has a lot of double players on both sides. Play offense and defense. Avea JV grabs the ball, and now he goes up the middle, breaks out, and takes off and gets up to the 45-yard line of Yorktown. He was finally taken down by Kyle Springer of Yorktown. David Avea JV may have got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. He's getting up a little bit. Jeremy Miller brings in the play. Will set up the offense with Eric Ashley in the backfield. Chuck Finney and Kevin Lewis as wingbacks, and the Avea JV brothers on the outside. Finney comes across. Miller back to pass. Looks for Lewis, and as soon as Lewis gets the ball, he's tackled. He'll have a gain of nothing on the play.
I think that pass was intended for Chuck Finney.
2nd down, Delta.
Yorktown, Robbie Grimes brings in the play. Delta trying to move down the field. They're on their own 47-yard line, trying to break into Yorktown territory for the 5th time tonight. David Avea JV on the outside. Kevin Lewis comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. Blitz is on, and he has to throw it quick to Chuck Finney and just cannot get the pass to it.
It was a nice diving effort by Chuck Finney, but he just couldn't come up with it.
Yorktown's been sending about 6 or 7 different kinds of blitzes at Delta. It's really confusing Delta. Miller sets up the offense. Avea JV brothers on the outside. Chuck Finney and Kevin Lewis on the wingbacks. Eric Ashley on the outside. Kevin Lewis comes across the middle. Going to be a wide receiver. Miller looking for him. Comes across to David Avea JV, and it was almost intercepted by Jason Tweeters. That's almost his 2nd interception of the game, and now Delta will be forced to kick on 4th down and 8.
We got 1:54 left in the 3rd quarter with Yorktown up on top 21-10. He's had some pretty good punts here tonight.
Yorktown has two setbacks to receive the punt. Kick goes up, and it's not going to be too great. It's about a 20-yard kick right into the wind, and will not take a Delta bounce either. It just sets down at the 36-yard line. David Long, Chris Covey, and Chris Aikman in the backfield. Town hands off to Chris Aikman. It'll be a sweep around the outside. Let's see if Delta can spring that one out, and they do. And it'll be a loss of 2 yards on the play. Kevin Lewis on the tackle.
I think Kevin was aided by number 33, Andy Fincham, on that play.
Yorktown will go with the wishbone offense again. Chris Covey in the back there. Town comes back. It's going to be a pass. Long pass to Matt Nielsen, and cannot receive the ball. Matt Nielsen wants a penalty. Maybe David Clausen got a hand on him, but I think the ball was over his head before he had a chance for it.
I thought it was a really good play by David Clausen. He was just right beside him the whole way and just didn't give him a chance to catch it.
Delta's going to have to read those plays, though. Matt Nielsen did get past him, and you can't do that, especially when you're in the safety position. You need to be in front of the receiver. Andy Town sets up the play with a lone setback. Andy Town passes to the outside to Matt Youngblood, and he tackles him down, gang tackle at about the 39-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 7. Yorktown to punt.
Seems like Delta really stepped it up last time on defense.
The kick is up and is almost blocked. A rolling kick out of bounds. And the ball will be placed at the 18-yard line. I think it was a bad spot by the refs there. There should have been a little bit more yardage up on that one. With 34 seconds in the third quarter, it's 21-10 in favor of Yorktown as Delta takes possession of the ball on their own 18-yard line. Yorktown sends out their defense. Delta will set up with the VHAV brothers on the outside. Eric Ashley in the lone setback. Wingbacks Kevin Lewis, Chuck Benny. Delta sets the wingbacks out a little bit more. Chuck Benny brings it up the middle, and it'll be a run right up the middle by Eric Ashley. Good yardage gain, probably about 7 yards on that play. Makes it to about the 27-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and about 2 yards to go. Now back at Delta Stadium, it's 21-10. 12 minutes as we start the 4th quarter. Delta is down 21-10 after Yorktown scoring 3 touchdowns, 2 from David Long and 1 from Ryan Webster. Delta has the ball 2nd and 2 on their own 27-yard line. Miller sets up the play. Eric Ashley in the backfield. Bobby Grimes on the outside with David VHAV. It's a run up the middle from Eric Ashley, and he breaks about 3 tackles and makes a great run of about 20 yards there on the carry.
Eric Ashley has really stepped it up here in these last probably 5 minutes. He just looks like he wants the ball, and when he gets it, he's gonna do something with it.
It's now 1st down and 10 for the Eagles on their own 47-yard line. The VHAV brothers will set up on the outside. Eric Ashley, the lone setback. Miller sets up the play. Benny comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. Blitz. A throw to Eric Ashley, and he could not receive it. He had a lot of running room if he had caught that one.
Looks like he was looking before he caught it. Took his eyes off the ball and just couldn't get it.
Bobby Grimes brings in the play for the Delta Eagles. Delta trying to move the ball here to get another score. 2nd and 10 on the 47-yard line. 11:29 in the 4th quarter. 21-10 Yorktown. Miller sets up the offense. Eric Ashley, the lone setback. Benny comes across as Kevin Lewis is set up as a wide receiver. Eric Ashley stopped at the line. No gain on the play.
Took about 6 Yorktown guys to get him down that time.
Great gang tackling by Yorktown. Ryan Jones and Chris VHAV will be brought into the game as Matt Pryor will be pulled out.
Looks like Pryor's still limping from that injury probably earlier in the 3rd quarter.
Miller sets up the play as the VHAV brothers sit on the outside. Eric Ashley, lone setback. Miller audibles. Miller sets back in the pocket. Blitz. Gets off the pass and way overthrown for intended pass for Chris of VHAV.
Doesn't seem like the pass protection's there for Delta tonight. Miller's had to rush his pass every time.
Delta was doing good on the quick passes, and I think they need to go back to that. Matt Youngblood set back to receive. Miller receives the ball, kicks it up. This will be a good kick. Matt Youngblood catches it and pulls it out of there. He has about 5 yards up to about the 25-yard line and is pulled down by Delta special teams.
Number 29 on the return.
Youngblood had a back pedal after that one to catch. I figured it just signaled as a just catch it wherever he stopped. But he tried to run it back and got about 5 yards.
Yorktown sets up with Chris Covey in the backfield, and Chris at Town back to pass, looks across the middle, and it's almost intercepted. It was intended for Chris Ettman, and he couldn't hold on, and it bounced off his shoulder pads and almost was intercepted by the Delta Eagles.
Looks like Paul Morris got his hand on it. I thought he was going to get it there for a minute.
Ball drops, and it will be 2nd down and 10 on the 26-yard line of Yorktown. 10:09 in the 4th quarter. It's 21-10 Yorktown. Andy Town brings up the offense to set up the play. Chris Covey and Chris Ettman in the backfield. Ettman back, hands off to Chris Ettman, and it's about a 3-4 yard gain on the play. He ran that up the middle, and it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Yorktown Tigers.
Jones is on the stop for the Eagles. 3rd down, Yorktown.
It was a nice stop by Ryan Jones of Delta.
Clock is running at 9:43 in the 4th quarter. Yorktown sets up the play with Andy Town. Chris Covey and David Long in the backfield for the Tigers. Town sets up, back to pass, looking for Matt Nelson and could not get it, and it was another tip, and David Clausen was almost able to pick that one off.
Clausen almost had a 2nd interception of the game.
It's going to be 4th down and 6, and in Yorktown territory, Yorktown's probably going to kick on this one. Yorktown kicker Dave Long. Della sets up the defense for this. The kick. A bad snap, but he's still able to pull it down and kick it. A bad kick. That probably went about 10 yards.
Kick went straight out of bounds. Didn't even hit inbounds anywhere.
I don't think it may have gone right off his foot at a weird angle, and it went right out of bounds. And that probably was a 10-yard kick. And now Delta will have 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line of Yorktown. This is the 6th time Delta has been able to go into Yorktown territory. Let's see if they can get something off this.
That's some great field position.
9:17 in the 4th quarter. 21-10 Yorktown. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass. Looks, throws long to Robbie Grimes. Robbie Grimes, I think, turned the wrong way on that one, and he was nowhere near the pass.
I think Grimes keeps stopping in the route, and if he'd just keep continuing, he'd be there. That's a good pass by Jeremy Miller.
I think Robbie Grimes thinks the ball's going to be thrown to him when he turns around. He's going to have to go to where he has to be. And Coach O'Shea talking to him about that one. Miller sets up the offense with Eric Ashley, lone setback via JV Brothers on the outside. 2nd down and 10 on the 41-yard line. Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass again. Another blitz. This time he gets it off to Eric Ashley. Eric Ashley will have about a gain of 5 yards on the play.
Eric Ashley's been their go-to man here in the 2nd half.
Jason Thomas on the tackle for Yorktown. It's 8:56 in the 4th quarter. 21-10 Yorktown.
Eric's got about 45 yards here in the 2nd half.
This is Sean Brooks and Mike Hall with your live action of Delta football. Jeremy Miller setting up the play. Eric Ashley lone setback. Kevin Lewis comes across the middle. Jeremy Miller back to pass, and he's hit, and the ball is thrown wobbly to Kevin Lewis, and he could not get to it. It seems that whoever's blitzing, they're not getting that guy. They're going to have to set somebody back there and be able to tackle that guy because they're sending everything out.
Delta hasn't read the blitz the whole game.
Yorktown is probably sending 7 different men at different times, and it's just really messing up the Eagles. Now it's 4th down and 5, and the Eagles will try to go for it. The crowd getting into it to help them get it down. Miller back to pass. Looks, throws it to Kevin Lewis with a reception, and it will be 1st down for the Eagles at the 25-yard line.
That was a catch reception by number 26, Chuck Finney.
Chuck Finney was able to hang on to that ball as Kyle Jones tried to rip it out. They both had a hand on it, and Chuck Finney was able to overwin that one.
That was just a great throw and reception by both men of Delta.
Jerry Miller now sets up the play as Kevin Lewis and Chuck Finney set up, and it'll be a run up the middle by Eric Ashley, and he will run past 2 Yorktown players, and he will have a 10-yard run and maybe a first down here for the Eagles. Eric Ashley comes up limping though, and wants out of the game right now.
He's just coming off a severe ankle twist of last week. I wasn't sure he's going to get a play in last week's game, but
Keith Mostrog taking his place though now. Miller sets up the play with Keith Mostrog and Kevin Lewis in the backfield. Chuck Finney, the wing back. David Avila, JV in the backfield. It's a handoff to Kevin Lewis. Kevin Lewis cuts up the middle and has about an 8-yard run there, and it'll make it second down and 5 yards to go.
Second down, Delta.
Second down and 4 yards to go there for Delta. Delta now on the 7-yard line. Goal to go, trying to get this one in with 7:13 in the fourth quarter. It's 21-10 Yorktown. Miller sets up the play. Two setbacks. Miller hands it off to Kevin Lewis. Kevin Lewis cuts up the right side and cannot get away from 56, Matt Brady.
that was a great tackle by Matt Brady. If Lewis would have broke that tackle, he'd have been in the end zone.
Looks to be short by about a foot. So to be third and a foot to go. They're probably going to go with the quarterback sneak right up the middle, try to get this one in.
6:50 left in the fourth quarter with 21-10 with Yorktown on top.
Ryan Jones comes into the game for Matt Pryor again. They set up the play.
See if they just go right up the middle with Jeremy Miller on this play.
Delta sets up with the wishbone. Kevin Lewis in the back. It will be a quarterback sneak, and Delta should have that one. They pushed it right up the middle, and he had a gain of about a yard, so he should have it. And it will be a first down. So now it's first down and 4, goal to go. It's 6:36 left in the fourth quarter. It's 21-10 Yorktown. Delta looking to score on their own 5-yard line, Yorktown's 5-yard line, goal to go. It's a handoff to Eric Ashley up the middle, and he has about a gain of 3 yards. It'll be on the 2-yard line.
I thought he was in there. It looked like his arm got in there before his knee touched down.
And the fans not liking it. But you got to go with the ref's call, and that's what they call.
Looks like a pretty poor ball spot. Looks like it should be at least on the 1. Looks like it may be on the 2 or the 3.
Jeremy Miller sets up the play with via JV, Eric Ashley and Kevin Lewis in the backfield for the wishbone. Handoff to Kevin Lewis up the middle, and he cannot, and oh, he does a second effort and gets a touchdown for the Delta Eagles. The Eagle fans going crazy here, as now at senior night is now 21-16 with 5:46 in the fourth quarter. Delta trying to make a comeback against the Yorktown Tigers. They'll have Robbie Grimes and David Avila JV on the outside. Chuck Finney comes across the middle. Miller back to pass, looks for the receiver, gets it to, and he catches it. Chuck Finney will have the ball. No, Robbie Grimes will have the ball, and that is a 2-point conversion, and now it is 21-18 for the Delta Eagles, as it's now 5:46 left in the fourth quarter. Delta is making a comeback. Let's hope that they keep this one up.
Grimes has been the man to go to when it comes to the passes. He went down low to get that one. That was a great pass.
Back is Chris Aikman for the Yorktown Tigers. Let's hope JJ can get a good kick here and put it over his head. Whistle blows. JJ to kick. Kick is up. A good soaring kick, and it will back up Chris Ettman. And now he comes up. Delta trying to grab him and grabs him by the shirt and pulls him down at the 27-yard line. He had about a run of about 20 yards there.
35 on the return.
It was a great run by Chris Ekman. He started about on his own 5-yard line and got out to about the 27.
Yorktown 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line. Let's hope Delta defense can stop him now.
5:30 left in the fourth quarter. Yorktown up 21 to 18.
Town sets up the play. Yorktown has a little confusion, changing the play at the line of scrimmage. David Long and Chris Ettman in the backfield. It's a handoff to Chris Ettman, and he will be stopped behind the back, and now he'll have a loss of about 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
It was a great tackle by number 58 Ryan Jones and number 62 Matt Pryor.
2nd down, Yorktown.
Looks like Pryor's coming out for a breather.
Pryor's working hard today, and he's almost banged up his knee, but he's okay. Town sets up the play. Chris Ettman and David Long in the backfield. Town goes back. It'll be a pass. He's looking, and now he will be sacked. He will be sacked in the backfield by Ryan Jones, Matt Kroll, and 53 Paul Morris. They were all there, but all three of them had him and pulled him down. Town didn't know what hit him. He just turned around for the pass, and the blitz was on, and he got it.
That was a great play by those 3 men.
Way to go, Eagles. It's third and now about 18 yards.
Delta crowd's really getting into it.
Town with David Long in the backfield. Yorktown back to pass, looking for the receiver, throws it up the middle, and it's thrown behind Ryan Webster. And now it'll be 4th down and 18 as the Delta crowd goes crazy. They love it here as Delta has been able to stop the Yorktown Tigers.
Looks like Delta's going to have a little bit over 3 minutes to try to score.
Let's hope that Donahue, the kicker, messes up again, because we need that great field position.
Got J.J. Frazier and Chuck Finney back on the punt return.
He's kicking into the wind here at Delta Stadium. The reception's good, the kick, and he does get off a pretty good kick this time, and it's going to take a Yorktown roll. And it will roll down to the 47-yard line of Delta, where Delta will take over the ball. With 3:35 in the fourth quarter, it's 21-18 Yorktown. Jeremy Miller sets up the play for the Eagles, brings up the offense. Eric Ashley in the backfield, Kevin Lewis and Chuck Finney as the wingbacks. BJV brothers on the outside. Finney comes across the middle. Miller hands off to Ashley, almost stopped in the backfield, but got it off, and he got about a 5-yard gain on that play. Clock winding down as it comes to 2:50 left in the fourth quarter. Delta's going to have to score now and do it now. Miller sets up the offense. Robbie Grimes and Avia JV on the outside. Miller back to pass with the blitz coming. Throws it off to Chuck Finney. Chuck Finney gets the pass and gets away from his first tackle and gets it down for a 1st down for the Delta Eagles into Yorktown territory at the 39-yard line. 2 minutes and 36 seconds now left in the fourth quarter. Delta driving. Miller sets up the offense. Back to pass. Goes to Kevin Lewis across the middle. He grabs the ball and carries it for about 20 yards. The Delta fans going crazy here as Delta has been able to push the ball up now. And they are happy for their team now as it's 2 minutes and 25 seconds in the fourth quarter. It's 21-18.
There's a penalty against Yorktown. Looks like the Eagles may send them back.
Miller conferring with the referee about the call. And Delta has elected to take the penalty. It must be a necessary roughness against Yorktown. And that's going to move the ball way up for Delta as a 10-yard penalty. And that'll put the ball at the 10-yard line, goal to go. Let's see if Delta can score here. Miller sets up the play with Ashley and Lewis in the backfield. Miller sets it over to Kevin Lewis. Kevin Lewis around the outside. He's trying to break around the corner. He gets around the corner and will come down to about the 2-yard line. Almost a score there. There was only one man to beat and just couldn't get around him. He got his jersey and pulled him down. With a minute 41 in the game, it's fourth quarter. 21-18, Delta looking to score on the 1-yard line now. Second down, goal to go. Miller sets up the play with Kevin Lewis and Eric Ashley in the backfield. Now the referee's stopping the clock. It's timeout Yorktown. Whistle blows and now here comes the Delta offense. Eric Ashley and Kevin Lewis will be in the backfield as the Delta fans start to cheer. Miller looking, and he will do a quarterback sneak, and yes, it will be a touchdown. Delta fans are going crazy here as it is now 24-21. The Delta Eagles have taken the lead. If the Delta Eagles can get their extra point kick here now, it will take a touchdown for the Yorktown Tigers to win the game. And that's what Delta set it up, the 2-point conversion in the first place for. The Delta crowd is going nuts here.
That play's worked 3 times for Delta this evening. It was just a great play.
Jeff Miller, the holder, now for J.J. Frazier, the kick. Let's hope this one goes in. Kick is up, and it will be good. Fans going crazy as it now is 25-21. Delta with 1:21 in the fourth quarter could be the game right there. And now a score by Jeremy Miller puts the score at 25-21 as the kickoff goes way back to the receiver Chris Ettman. Delta gang tackling, trying to catch him, and now he's loose, and this is going to be a score for Yorktown if J.J. Frazier is going to have to stop him. He's trying to get to the man, and Chris Ettman's going to outrun him, and no, J.J. Frazier is able to pull him down at the 11-yard line, but that's not what Delta wants now. It's going to have to be a great defensive stop here. They have to stop him from scoring the touchdown, as now it's a minute 03 in the game.
Delta has now been forced way back into their line, and now Yorktown sets up for the touchdown to maybe win the game. The pass is thrown. He tries to get in. It is a touchdown, and now Yorktown takes the lead over Delta. Yorktown scores on that, and now they'll try for the extra kick to put the score up 28-25, and they have now taken a 28-25 lead over Delta with 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Delta will receive the kickoff here from Yorktown's kicker. Delta's got to feel a little disappointed after that. After that huge drive they had, now losing it all in just a matter of seconds. Delta crowd really wanting them back in this game. The whistle's blown, kick is ready, comes off. A little squibbler off to the side, and the flag will be thrown for that one. Delta has a choice now to have him re-kick it or put it at the 35-yard line. They've decided to take it at the 35-yard line. Miller sets up the offense. Eric Ashley, this lone setback, and it's a fumble. Miller gets back on it, and it will be Delta football. That's going to hurt Delta just to have a fumble right there. That could have just lost the game for Delta. Miller sets up the offense with 4 wideouts. Miller throws a long pass for David via JV and cannot hold on. It's an incomplete pass. Delta sets up the offense again. 4 wideouts, lone setback, Eric Ashley. Miller sets up the play. Back to pass, looks, has his man, and just cannot get it to him. And that's probably going to do it for Delta. As they set up the next play, 3rd down. Delta looks, he goes long, a bad pass, and this is going to be intercepted by Yorktown, and this will end the game here. As Yorktown looks for a few more, and there's flags all over the field. The game is over. Time has expired. penalties probably against Delta, so they were not going to do anything for this one. The final score will be 28-25. Delta loses to Yorktown at home here at Delta Stadium.